Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, and this time reviewing on Bojack Horseman Season 1. Now, as you know, Bojack Horseman was a series created by Raphael Bob Wolksberg and was always meant to and had this kind of more realistic, more charming story to it. Now, I know the series has been talked about by Shady Directs and Mr. Enner, so I wanted to do this as my own personal dive into it. Now, the premise of Bojack Horseman is meant to take place in an alternative world where humans and anthropomorphic animals live side by side. And pretty much throughout the first season, we are mainly centered with Bojack, who is meant to be this self-loathing, arrogant, and if not alcoholic horse who was once the star of his own 90s sitcom, Horsing Around. That was meant to be a play on certain shows from the 90s, like Full House, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and so on. So pretty much in his life, he's got his roommate Todd, who is basically going to be unemployed, well-meaning, and a good-hearted slacker. And you've also got Mr. Peanut Butter, who is basically a happy-go-lucky Labrador retriever, and is meant to be the counterpart to Bojack, as he had a show similar to his called Mr. Peanut Butter's House, and was always kind of meant to be the counterpart to Bojack. And you've got Diane, who is basically Mr. Peanut Butter's girlfriend, later wife, and at the same time meant to be Bojack's ghostwriter. Now, from season 1, Diane is meant to be the ghostwriter to Bojack, as Bojack is helping basically a struggling book company to publish his memoirs, but is shown to be lazy, can't be bothered, and not to be able to do it. So throughout season 1, we do see Diane going into Bojack's world, and we do see basically the people Bojack's hurt, or basically the things that he's done. For example, we are introduced to Sarah Wynn, who is meant to be one of the former cast members from Horsing Around, and is meant to be a bit like Lindsay Lohan, Hannah Montana, and the actor who played John Connors from Terminator 2, and is kind of shown to be an emotional wreck, which Bojack only encourages in one episode. Or when we've got Herb, who was meant to be Bojack's mentor, and was also meant to help Bojack become a better actor, but over time grew apart, and when Herb got outed for being gay, Bojack didn't stand up for him, leading to the Telescope event episode. And pretty much throughout the show, we are introduced to other animals and other people. For example, in the Bojack Horseman series, each animal has a characteristic which reminds me of the detective series Black Sad. For example, rhinos are portrayed as mafia tough guys, maggots are portrayed as running a funeral home, and also, for example, lemurs are portrayed as party animals. And we do see basically how Bojack comes to learn about himself and the people around him. Now, pretty much there is a subplot where Bojack has feelings for Diane, and you can tell Mr. Peanut Butter starts to see this and does get a little annoyed, but still sees Bojack as a friend. And when basically Bojack tries to steal the D, Mr. Peanut Butter uses this as an opportunity to basically make himself look like he did it, as a way to make himself look like he was the hero. And I would say that we do get, for mainly the first season, we do learn a little about some of the characters, like Bojack's troubled childhood, as well as Diane's basically issues with her family. And what's interesting is Wayne, who is basically Diane's ex-boyfriend, does foreshadow mostly the events later on in the season. And what's actually interesting, it was even confirmed by the writers, actors who basically don't voice themselves, like Andrew Garfield, become meaner and suffer cruel fates. When Andrew Garfield didn't do his voice for Bojack Horseman, they had Mr. Peanut Butter's voice actor voice him and ended up breaking every bone in his body. And characters were meant to have a different personality. For example, Princess Karen was going to be a human girlfriend of Bojack. Diane was going to be an executive to help basically Bojack's career, and basically Mr. Peanut Butter was going to be an executive. And these are interesting changes that later got altered. And yeah, I do think with the first season is that it does get darker later on, and we do see basically Bojack's journey from the book and how basically he learns to basically accept who he is. But at the same time, it's only the start of his adventure. It's the start of his career. It's the start of a new beginning. And what's interesting, they do foreshadow the later events to season 2 that I may cover. And I do admit what I do like about Bojack Horseman is that the show basically, the first episode starts off introducing the characters quite well as you get to know each one that certainly pops up. And yeah, we do see Bojack learning to accept the past and the choices he's made. So I think the series deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.